Hey everybody, Tim Gaynor with Coach Develop and Inspire. This is our second segment of What's Your Story? And this is my good friend Sam Ramsey here.
How you doing?
Good.
How's it going?
So we're gonna learn a little bit about Sam and his story, and we'll just kind of start off with, tell me about what's your life like now. What do you do? Tell me a little bit about your family, maybe some of your hobbies.
Yeah. So what's my life like now? So I actually run a commercial catastrophe business. So I sell commercial property insurance, predominantly like in hurricane-exposed regions of the country, Florida, Texas, etc. Got a wife, Nancy. Been married for 29 years now.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and 4 kids. 2 of them married.
That's why you have no hair. You got 4 kids.
Yeah,
that's right.
I haven't had hair for a very long time, actually. But 4 kids. 2 of them married, and then 21-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son.
Nice.
And I'd say hobbies. I love to sing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so,
yeah. That's
right. Sing in the Louisville, the community chorus. And also love to fly fish. Do a lot of fly fishing. A little bit of hunting here and there, but mostly fishing.
Yeah, you go pretty remote too when you go fishing, don't you?
I do. Yeah, no, I like
backcountry.
Get away from people.
Yeah,
that's the best part of it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for spending time here today. So cool. Yeah, thanks for kind of telling me about what your life is like now. Obviously, sounds very successful, very very happy. What are some, if you're looking at your adult lifehood, what would you say are some of the key moments, the happiest moments of your kind of adult life?
The happiest moments of my adult life.
Yeah.
I would say certainly marrying Nancy was an extremely happy part of my life.
I've met her. You've done well. Good job.
She's nice.
Well, yeah.
She's definitely well above my grade.
Yes, well done.
Marry up, I should say. But I think also just my kids and stuff.
Yeah.
In particular, just all the stuff that we've been through with Nolan.
Yeah.
My 17-year-old son, a lot
Sure.
of health challenges, just the victory through all that,
Yeah.
and the kind of the young man he's become, even through
Right.
everything he's gone through. That's been a huge, I would say, very happy, joyful moment of my life.
Yeah.
And then probably most recently, my oldest daughter getting married, and then my oldest son getting married.
I was gonna say, you've had a bunch of weddings in the last year.
I had 2 last year.
Right,
so,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I have 1 coming up, so I can't imagine 2. You had it within like 2 months.
Yeah, 2.5 months.
So you're taking donations, right?
It's actually quite a very expensive summer.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Again, with 1, I can't imagine 2. So, well, cool. Yeah, I've met your family, and they're definitely great people, and as well as you. So, definitely you seem to be at the pinnacle of what a lot of people call success right now.
I'm old.
Yeah, well, so it took you a while to get here, I guess.
Took me a while to get here.
Yeah, fair enough. But let's transition a little bit and maybe talk about your childhood. Where are you from? Where were you born?
So I lived in Texas until like 2002. So I grew up predominantly like in the Houston, Dallas,
Sure.
Austin area.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I would say from a childhood perspective, I would say lots of good, but kind of lots of challenges as well. I mean, I was my mom and dad got divorced when I was 6, and it was an extremely. I was 6, so you can only know what you know at the age of 6. But it was an extremely contentious divorce, a very angry divorce, and kind of it pretty much. I would say at the age of 6, pretty much separated me from like a whole side of my family, the father's side of my family.
Okay.
And then subsequently after my parents had divorced, it pretty much drove my mom kind of off the edge. And she spent about a year or so in a mental institution.
Oh, wow.
And so in that case, my sister had to kind of go live with one person, and I had to go live with others, and kind of split us apart for a year and a half.
Okay.
So I think that was really difficult.
Yeah.
And just the aspect of, all of a sudden my father's there one day and gone the next.
Right.
Pretty difficult, I think, for a 6-year-old.
Sure.
But then once my mom got out of the hospital, I can remember probably for 2 or 3 years just probably just a lot of challenges. I mean, she really didn't have much.
Yeah.
We didn't have much, my mom, my sister, and I. And
so was it just you and your one sister?
Yeah, just me and my one sister at the time. And funny enough, one of my vivid memories, and I mean, I'm almost 54 years old. But one of my vivid memories back for a 2 or 3 year period was powdered milk, of all things, which was really nasty. Actually.
Yeah, it sounds nasty. I'm not sure I've heard of powdered milk.
Well, yeah, you mix it with water and all that kind of stuff. But it was just real challenging. And I think with all the stuff that, I'm sitting here as a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, and with all the stuff that my mom had gone through, and my sister was 3 years younger.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I kind of felt like, at the age of 7 or 8, I was supposed to be kind of the man of the house, if you will, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think it kind of put a sense of, well, I've, got to take care of things dynamic, and kind of developed something in me that probably drives a lot of kind of how I am today, just in terms of I can take care of myself, and I need to.
Because you were thrown into it, and you had to.
Thrown into it. I didn't have much choice, and so. Just a long and story short, then, I mean, my mom remarried with my stepdad at the age of 9.
Okay. So just a few years on your own with your mom.
A few years with my mom, and funny enough, my stepdad and my mom met at an AA meeting. Okay. So that kind of gives you a little context of where they were at.
A little bit of their background.
A little bit of their background, and so I probably from the ages of 9 to 15, just a really, I don't want to say. Difficult, angry life.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that?
Two parents that drank a whole lot.
Okay. So the AA didn't work.
No, it didn't. Well, off and on.
Sure.
It worked, and then it didn't work. And off, and of course I think as I've grown up, oftentimes you focus in on remembering the things maybe that weren't so good. Mm-hmm. Not to say that there weren't a lot of good times.
Sure.
There were a lot of not so good times as well.
Right.
When my stepdad would drink, he's pretty violent.
Yeah.
And
so would he take it out on you and your sister?
Yeah, he would take it out on me and my sister, but in particular my mom, which is actually even worse.
Oh, wow.
Because
you remember seeing that and watching that?
I remember seeing that, and I'm sitting here and I'm a 12 or 13-year-old, 14-year-old football player and lifting a lot of weights, and it's not good.
Right.
Because it became kind of violent on all sides.
Right. So you tried to step in and help out?
Step in and help my mom, and it just, that didn't always go so well either.
Sure.
So I think in the context of everything that my stepdad, and I say stepdad, he was my dad. I mean, he raised me, but in the context of everything they went through until they stopped drinking it when I was about 15, they did the best they could.
Right.
I mean,
sure.
It's but just I think really a kind of a tough situation.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like
kids to grow up in.
Yeah, what you described obviously is at a very young age, and your parents divorced. Seems like kind of suddenly, at least from your 6-year-old perspective, and then you're not with your mom for a year. She's away trying to take care of herself, and gets back, and then obviously you're with a single parent, which you're kind of talking about didn't have a lot, and that a lot of single parents will understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to just bring up 2 kids, or
just trying to survive.
Just put food on the table for 2 kids is tough enough, and then you bring in another individual into the household, and the mix of them in their drinking, obviously in itself is not good, but then when it turns violent, that's obviously not conducive for a good childhood. So when did it start getting better? You said maybe when you were 15?
Yeah, probably about the age of 15 or 16, and it's interesting because I think a lot of the struggles that my sister and I are very close.
Sure.
Because I mean we leaned on each other quite a bit, and in going through all those struggles, it created a sense of me of having to take care of myself and take care of things on my own, which, good and bad, kind of developed a drive in me to, hey, I'm going to college, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get out of college, I'm going to get this job, I'm going to, the drive, I guess, which, good on the career side, but bad probably on the control side, in terms of, I can take care of myself, I can do this on my own.
Sure, and then not asking for help because you think you can take care of it, which everybody knows at some point. We need people beside us, holding us up and helping us do things. It's interesting, you took that path of like, I'm really I'm laying out strategically, here's what I'm gonna do, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna do these things where a lot of people, might not be able to get out from under what you had, all of the, my parents broke up, I'm living with someone else for a year, and then it's abusive, not only with my mom, but with myself, and kind of just me and a younger sibling are trying to bring ourselves up for a while, and feeling the pressure as a little kid I'm the man of the house now at 6, 7, and 8. That's ridiculous. Some people might choose a different path. So how did you choose the path of, I'm going to make things work out, or I'm going to at least try to make things work out, versus just crumbling under all that baggage, I guess?
I think it had a lot to do with, even with all the challenges that we had as a family. I mean, both my parents were still encouraging.
Yeah. Okay.
In between the the
drinking
good moments. In between that, they're still very encouraging. I mean, it was never a situation of looking down on me or discouraging me from doing things. I mean, they were very encouraging.
Right.
They did a lot of really good things.
Sure.
But in between some of the very bad things, and so I think that was probably a big part of it. I didn't have I didn't have a family that was talking down to me or saying you can't do this, you can't do that, and all that.
Sure. So still supportive, but yet, I guess kind of in their own way. And obviously that addiction there is, no matter what it is, whether it's alcohol or drugs or just other types of addiction, and that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon in a lot of people, in a lot of families' lives, and a lot of people grow up with what they would probably look back on as, that was a difficult childhood. And saying difficult because I hear stories of other people's childhoods going, that seemed pretty nice, and I'm certainly, I feel blessed. My childhood, never had any parental issues like that. My parents were married, never divorced, still married today, so never had anything along those lines. So knowing that other people have struggled with things in their lives, whether they're growing up or even now in a family relationship, what would you say to them to try to help them, see the light at the end of the tunnel? And I guess as in trying to get that mindset of, because at some point you said, I am going to take charge of this. I'm going to take charge, and I am going to lay things out, and not have this occur in my family, and not have occur for me. So what would you say to people that are struggling with, whether it's the same scenario as you or something along the same lines?
Yeah, I think if I look at that, it's probably two things for me. I can relate one of them to the fact that Nancy and I have been married for 29 years, and probably we've been through a lot of challenges.
Sure.
In particular with all the stuff that has gone on with Nolan, the physical challenges over the years. That in itself would destroy a lot of marriages. Maybe
just say quickly, what's his condition and what's...
Yeah, so he was born with a metabolic condition called MPS. It's a really long word, so I won't go into what it means. But basically, it's a chromosome disorder, and your body isn't producing some of the enzymes that break down fats and tissues and stuff around the major organs of your body.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that, probably 1 in 150,000 probability-wise. Right. Which is all fine and good till it's you.
Yeah, right.
So, but in any event, it's one of those things that so he was on a transplant unit at Duke University, and there were 16 kids, and I think today there's maybe 2 alive, including him. Wow. So one other. It was one of those things he wasn't supposed to live past the age of 3, and he's actually died twice in his life. Yeah. And kind of came back.
Sure.
Per se.
Right.
And so that he still has a lot of struggles, but he's 17 years old now, and is just an incredible kid.
He's a sharp kid.
Incredible kid.
He's a sharp kid.
But just the aspect of the medical and the hospitals and all of that is very taxing. On a relationship.
We were talking a little bit before this, we started filming here, but do you think part of what you went through as a child, that environment helped you be stronger with what you're dealing with Nolan?
Yeah, I think whether it's dealing with Nolan or whether it's being married for 29 years, it was that aspect of just, I think relationships like that are just, 2 people committing to never give up.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
Regardless of what happens.
Sure.
Just committing to never give up. Because at the end of the day, we had hundreds of opportunities to give up.
Right.
And so I think I think that's been key, you know, because even in my life with my parents and everything they went through, still it's a never give up dynamic.
Yeah,
you know, my mom never gave up, even through all her circumstances and struggles. She never gave up.
No.
You know, through everything she went through.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's actually my next tattoo. Never give up.
A good one.
Reference my story when you look at the video, and you'll know why I'm going to get never give up with a heartbeat through it.
Yeah.
If you hadn't seen mine, go back to mine. But yeah, I love that aspect of just, and I think that's what hopefully people get out of this, that aspect of it of, you know, here's what I'm committing to, and commitment actually means never give up.
Yeah.
And understanding that, I think sometimes people imagine life's going to be this way.
Yeah.
And then when it's normal, they go, well, this is difficult. In reality, it's normal. I don't know anybody who's had a relationship. You know, my wife and I have been married a long time as well, and we've had some, you know, normal. And a lot of people could look at it as, well, that was difficult. I'm like, you know, if I look at it as difficult, then I think I'm different.
Yeah.
Versus I look at it as, well, that's just how relationships are. It's two different people working together as one, and sometimes you're gonna rub each other a little bit, and you got to work through it.
Yeah.
But if you both have the mindset of, you know, no matter what it is, we're going to get through it. We're not going to give up. It makes it easier to work through versus, you know what, I know I have an exit here, so maybe at some point I'll exit, and then it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. That's a great reference. So, yeah, I mean, so just kind of wrapping this up a little bit here. You know, today, again, we started that off in kind of a world aspect. You're very successful. You got a great family. But it hasn't always been that way.
No.
You know, it hasn't been that way, and that kind of framed you to the person you are today, and it's kind of helped you through that. And part of doing these My Story segments is for people to understand you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're definitely not alone. Sometimes you think, well, why am I the only one going through whatever scenario it is? And you're not. There's not a unique situation out there in the world that I've run across. There's always someone dealing with something. And then, you know, really trying to understand that there are other people that have dealt with it, and maybe trying to whether listen to the story like we've done with Sam's, or just trying to reach out and find someone that can help you, as you were saying earlier, you know, try to do things on your own, and that's just not going to work out.
And I think that's just sorry to interrupt you there, but I think that's another important dynamic is to, you know, surround yourself with people that you believe in, you can trust, and you know, minimize the noise.
Yeah.
Because there's always noise.
Yep.
You know, there's always people that are going to tell you can't do this, can't do that, or give you advice that you may not necessarily need or want.
Right.
But, I mean, surround yourself with good people.
Yeah, and people who've got your best interests at heart.
Yeah.
You know, we always told our kids that, you know, you may not like what I'm about to say, but do you believe I have your best interests at heart? And they're like, well, yeah, of course. Then we go into, okay, here's what you're going to not do.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, wait. He's like, well, you know, you may not understand or like it, but you know, if I'm coming at it from your best interest at heart, then obviously hopefully it's people understand that I'm here to support you, lift you up, try to help you through it. So hopefully if you listen to this, it's helped you out, and if you're dealing with a situation something similar to this, hopefully you know, Sam's story kind of inspired you to kind of be able to work through it and kind of move on in life, and really at the end of the day live the life that you want. And I truly believe that each of us are made to live a life in a certain manner, and hopefully that works out for you as well. So thanks for listening. Again, Tim Gaynor with Coach Develop Inspire and Sam Ramsey. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Take care.